Hi, this is Mark Walton for GameSpot. We're here with Dax from Rocksteady Studios. What are we going to be taking a look at today?
Mark, today we are going to be ripping it up in the streets of Gotham City. We're going to be switching between Catwoman and Batman. We're going to be heading down into the courthouse to take on Two-Face, both of Two-Face's faces.
Awesome.
And saving Catwoman from his grips. And then, take a bit of a groove around Arkham City, see what else is going on.
Yeah, cool. And this is from quite early on in the game, right?
It's right at the beginning. So we're going to start off playing as Catwoman. She gets herself into a bit of a sticky situation. They're going to switch control to Batman, and he's going to see if he can help her out.
All right, great stuff. So, little cutscene here.
That's right. We start in Harvey Two-Face Dent's campaign office. We really wanted to load up Arkham City with loads of kind of legendary locations from Batman's world. This sort of Batman DNA is the kind of philosophy that we take. So with every street corner, every location within the game, if you're a hardcore Batman fan, that's really going to mean something to you. You also get to go to places like Crime Alley and the Monarch Theatre, those much more well-known locations as well.
Yeah, I mean, it must be difficult. I mean, ultimately, DC Comics fans and Batman fans, they're going to be quite hardcore. They're going to see these things and go, hey, that's not quite right, this is wrong, it must be tricky to kind of do that stuff.
Yeah, well, luckily for us, we're pretty kind of hardcore Batman fans as well, even if we weren't at the beginning of the development of Arkham Asylum.
So, I'm Catwoman now, and I am kicking some ass. And, playing this now is quite familiar to me, having played the last game. The system's quite similar.
Yeah, I mean, the combat system we established in Arkham Asylum, I think, was a really good start. It was a really good first crack at this sort of brawling combat, having a lot of enemies coming at you at the same time, but not having it descend into just a button mash fest. The combat system, the free flow system as we call it, really demands that you pick your target, you strike with precision, and you've got counters coming in that you've got to take care of as well. So it's not just a single button mash fest. There is a lot of strategy to it. It gets deeper and deeper.
It's got that flow to it, hasn't it, when you play through it, which I really liked from the first game.
Try and get one over on me, will you, Harv? I don't think so.
Kid, you're filthy.
Catwoman had a gun to her head.
Yeah, so Two-Face comes back, finds her stealing from him. He's not too happy about that, and so he takes her hostage and drags her through the streets of Arkham City to cast judgment on her in the courthouse, and that's where we're going to go to now as Batman.
Cool, so we get to fly now.
Well, the first thing we're going to do is use the cryptographic sequencer. So we're
Yes.
going to select that on our D-pad. You can see it flashing there. And then hold down the left trigger and the right trigger, and we'll be in.
Another one of Batman's many gadgets.
Well, no Batman experience is complete without masses of gadgets. So, it's brilliant to be able to really explore his utility belt as well as the kind of, dark psychology of the guy.
Yeah.
Combat, navigation, forensics, they're all big areas of development that we wanted to focus on and really blow out. Because we did, I think, a pretty good job in Arkham Asylum, but Arkham City for us was really about asking, where can we go next with this? The obvious answer to that is, let's get into Gotham. Because Arkham Asylum was this pressure cooker showdown between Batman and Joker, but it didn't take place within the streets of Gotham.
No, it was all enclosed, wasn't it? Effectively cut off from the outside.
Yeah.
Which had a good feeling of its own. Effectively, it was really tense. Really, like when you're in those corridors and you're in that one room where you're on top of like the gargoyles and stuff, and just looking down on all the people below. And, I love that.
But right now, you're not just Batman, you are the Caped Crusader.
Oh, yes.
You're going to dive off this roof,
I think this is a bit.
cane it down into the streets, and kick some ass as the Dark Knight himself.
This is something everyone's been just like looking forward to. Just doing this.
I think so. I mean, it just works. It works so well.
I don't know. Please, if I knew, I'd tell you. Pity. You could have saved yourself a big world of pain. If you don't know nothing, we can.
Boom! All right, start swinging.
All right, a bit more combat. Get some thugs. Clara.
Nice, get it.
No.
Counter that.
Oh,
Ooh.
lost
Nice. So you've got to try and avoid that guy highlighted there in green. Leave him as the last man standing, and then.
Yeah, because you can kind of jump over him, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can use this evasive move to kind of push him out of the way, and then. Oh, sweet. Oh, nice. And straight in interrogation, seamless.
I know you work for Riddler.
Please, don't hurt me. I'll tell you what you want to know.
It's been a pleasure.
They're beating up on Jack Ryder here. Jack Ryder's a well-known journalist from Gotham City. He's been thrown in here, so he's like a political prisoner. So any of the inmates who are dressed in blue, aren't all bad. Like everyone in Arkham City isn't a criminal or a thug. People have been in prison in here for lots of different reasons.
Yeah. So this adds a Riddler secret to the map. Right?
Yeah, he's going to give you the location of 3 nearby Riddler trophies. In Arkham Asylum, there was the Riddler Trophy Challenge, but in order to locate the position and the location of those trophies, you had to find maps. We wanted to add more character to the game in every way we possibly could. So getting that information by interrogating thugs who are working undercover for Riddler, it's a much more kind of characterized interpretation of that system.
The Batman universe has got a lot of villains in it. Obviously you did the Joker, the biggest one, but you've done Catwoman and the Penguin here. It's quite similar. That's Batman Returns, isn't it, effectively, from the film, right? Why choose those guys when you've got quite a few?
Well, we didn't stop there. Two-Face is in there as well. Mr. Freeze is in there as well. So there's so many incredible supervillains to choose from, and we wanted to choose these characters that would draw something interesting out of Batman, so that we could build gameplay around that.
Cool. So where are we off to now?
Right on. So we're going to follow the bat signal, and we're going to head to the courthouse to have that showdown with Two-Face and save Catwoman from imminent execution.
All right.
So you can see there's a load of Two-Face thugs just below you there.
Stuff's happening in there. Let's do what Two-Face says.
Yeah, don't let him start tossing that coin.
Boom. Nice. These guys got baseball bats. This ain't going to be easy. But countering their attacks is critical here, because you'll be able to disarm them and then use their weapons against them. Ooh,
I thought I had that one.
Counter that hot.
Smash that. All right.
Nice. Boom.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about. Brutal justice. You've got your chain up, so you can do an instant takedown. Oh, man. I get sick of that. So Two-Face is a relatively new inmate within Arkham City, so he's really behind the 8 ball in terms of kind of taking control of his turf, because Joker's already got a big gang, Penguin's got a huge power base as well. So Two-Face is trying to play catch-up, and that's why, having taken Catwoman hostage, he's going to execute her in front of all of these people to prove to these other thugs, if you're going to join any gang, join him, because he's the guy to fear. That sort of works into his personality as well. He's all about this sort of, the psychological side of destiny and the two options he always had. So he's really toying in his own mind whether he should execute Catwoman or whether he should allow her to have a proper kind of trial by, the peers, I guess.
Yeah. And when you look at these characters, obviously, Batman's been around for a long time. You've got the comics, and the films have obviously been a big influence on people as well. When you're trying to develop the characters like Two-Face or the Penguin, do you look at the films and think, we're going to do that, or was any of their characters based on that, basically?
I think it's a really different creative challenge when you're thinking about films and kind of casting characters and developing characters, because you've got such little time. You've got an hour and a half to kind of get from the start to the end.
Yeah.
Whereas we've got like 40 hours of gameplay here, so we can give each of these villains time to breathe. A few people have expressed concern, oh my god, there's too many villains in here, but with such a huge game, they all develop in their own way, they get time to breathe, and Batman gets an opportunity to really get to know them, and as a player, you really kind of get that as well.
This court is now in session.
Looking down into the wall of the courthouse, that's the kind of density of chumps you're about to go up against.
Oh, nice. And they are definitely chumps.
They are. They deserve to pay.
Yeah.
So you have to take this guy down with a stealth takedown. So just creep up behind him. Nice.
That's the way to do it.
All right, so now you can just walk across that wire and drop down in, or you can just glide into the courtroom. It's entirely up to you. Whammy!
Oh, look at them run.
Not all of them. Because this is so early on in the game, if we kind of put the player up against the 48 guys who are in that courtroom, it would just be a murder.
It'd be a bit unfair.
But, you saw the massive Penguin fight earlier on today, so, we can genuinely have Batman going up against that number of thugs without any trouble. It's just more a difficulty balancing. Nice batarang work. I respect that.
Yeah. So I mean, if people do want, you know, a lot more action, you've got the challenge rooms are back as well.
Absolutely. Just take on Two-Face now. Dude, he just shot you fair in the chest! No. It's okay, man. It happens to everyone. Yeah, the challenge maps really are there to allow players to hone their skills in both combat and in Predator stealth. So, you know, they don't just provide a kind of change of pace for the player, but they're there as a kind of a mechanism to allow you to really sharpen those abilities. And also go online and upload your scores and your...
Competing, I mean, that's what you want, to compete against people.
Yeah, totally.
So Catwoman's basically escaped?
She escapes, slashes Two-Face across the good side of his face, because no one would have noticed if it was on the bad side.
Yeah.
Batman had taken a shot to the chest, but survives it. And you see for the rest of the game, he carries that bullet wound in his breastplate there. Every single kind of big fight that you have in the game leaves scars on Batman and Catwoman's kind of outfits. So by the end of the game, you are just ripped apart, which in Catwoman's case ain't a bad thing.
Ooh, mean. Very mean.
So there's this ongoing feud between Catwoman and Two-Face that plays out throughout the entire game. So this is sort of the initial phases of it as that kind of showdown is building, and then. I'm
going to guess this is the start of the game. Two-Face isn't going to die just yet. I mean, that's not giving too much away. I imagine, if we just kick this off, that ain't going to happen.
No, he's too big a character to live with.
Well, that would have been quite a ballsy move. Have Two-Face in there and just kill him off after about 2 minutes of the game.
So the relationship between Catwoman and Batman is a really interesting one that we really wanted to explore because you know, they don't hate each other, they don't love each other, they're sort of somewhere in between. There's this kind of tasty sexual tension between them as well. So their objectives kind of interweave throughout the game. But here we've got Joker taking a shot at her as well. So you think you've had a tough day here at Rocksteady. Spare a thought for Catwoman.
I forgot the Joker.
Almost been executed by Two-Face. The Joker then steps up with a sniper rifle, takes a pot shot at her, and Batman saves her again. So now we've got a new objective to track down where that sniper shot came from and try and get a read on where the Joker's at and what's he up to.
It was Joker. You're not safe here. No one is.
9 lives, remember?
This game's out pretty soon. You said the game's finished now, so...
Yeah. We're literally putting it to bed as we speak.
Great stuff. So when's it on shelves and what platforms?
Batman Arkham City coming out October 21st here in Europe on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and PC. All of that on 3D.
Great stuff. Thanks for sharing this game.
My pleasure, man.
Thank you.
Cheers.